Right. It's off the ground. You're not
Yep.
tenting on the ground. You have a kitchen, you have a bathroom in there, you have air conditioning with them, you have sinks, you have multiple beds. Some of them have 2 king-size beds on the end, so it's just sleeping in the great outdoors without the aggravation of the groundwater and the rocks under your bed.
Yeah, and they go to these campgrounds, and it is, you and I were just talking briefly off the air, the campgrounds are communities. The kids can run around, it's a safe environment, or seniors can go, or whoever. But the campgrounds, and you can reserve them as you're traveling the country, there's all sorts of places to go. You can go point A to point B if you want to. I have a friend that has one of these, not to that magnitude, that uses that as his winter home, heads to Florida. And they have a reserved area in Florida, and that's what they do. And that's where they live in.
Yep.
Then come time to come home, they come home.
Yep.
And they may decide to take another trip. So it's not bad, and it's a lot cheaper than hotels on the long run.
It is. Industry studies show that you're cooking your own meals. You've got your own bed with you. It is much cheaper in the long run, other than maybe the capital equipment, the pricing, down payment that people will put on it. But going back to what you said about the campgrounds, when I do my seminars, what I like to tell people is the campgrounds are the last vestige of what us mature guys, shall we say, grew up with. It's a neighborhood. It's a community. They watch out for each other. They don't have to lock the cars or the campers. The kids run around the campground. You get there, you set up the camper, the kids go out and they find new friends. And they got friends for the 3 days that you're there for a weekend or a week. Parents sit down and have a sociable beverage and talk to the neighbors next door. They don't care if the guy next door drives an 18-wheeler or if he's a neurosurgeon. It's just the great outdoors and the love of that family environment. And what we find is, it's amazing. The kids disconnect in that environment. They get off the cell phones, they get off the computers because they got lakes, they got paddle boats, they got zip swings. They have everything that somebody would want to do on a vacation.
The one you brought up to the studio, and we're talking to someone in the vacuum here, but the one you brought up to the studio, just describe that for our listeners a little bit.
Yeah, that one is a Class A motorhome. It looks like a box on wheels, but it's a house on wheels.
It's almost like a bus.
Yeah, it's a bus. People often refer to them as a bus. Yeah. And it sits on a Ford V10 chassis. That one was 35 feet long. It has 3 slide outs. There's 2 in the front, so it opens up the front tremendously. It's bigger than many people's living room. You have a sleep sofa up front. You got the 2 captain's chairs up front. Full kitchen, microwave, convection oven,
Yeah.
stove.
Yeah. Washer and dryer.
Yeah, washer and dryer. Some of them come with dishwashers.
Shower. Obviously a bathroom. Privacy of the bedrooms, if you want that. Extremely comfortable, all leather chairs. Huge television.
Yeah, the television that was about a 40 inch inside. And I think outside we had the outdoor entertainment center.
Which was kind of cool because you got the overhang that you extend, and you could sit outside at night and just have some lounge chairs and just be watching TV.
Right, you got the awning, so even if there's a light mist, you can still be outside and watch a movie, watch the television.
I mean, that's not your father's RV.
No, it's not. It is not. And I borrowed that one from Flag RV down in Uxbridge today. They were nice enough. They're one of the exhibitors in our show this weekend.
Yeah, let's talk about the show a little bit.
We got a great show coming up at the Six Flags of New England out in Agawam. It's the first time that Nervda, the New England RV dealers, have done a show out there. And they really have gone overboard for us. We're going to have over 200 RVs out there, 3 acres of RVs. Starts tomorrow. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, we've been giving away some free tickets for it. It's been, and people have really been excited.
Yeah, the Thursday will be 10:30 to 7, Friday's 10:30 to 7, Saturday we switch 10 to 7, and Sunday 10 to 6. And it's a separate admission, so you can go onto the sixflags.com website, select New England, and then you can actually buy the tickets right online. And we have a ticket just for the RV show, which includes parking, or they can buy a combo ticket to see the RV show and actually go into the park. So a lot of people in New England or in your listening area that maybe have never seen Six Flags, they can come out and buy the combo ticket online, see both events in one day, and spend an entire day out there.
Yeah, bring your whole family. It's a family thing. A typical purchaser of something like that out there, is there one?
There isn't anymore. Years ago, it was always assumed when they looked at camping, the young couple would buy the pop-up, and then someday they'd buy a trailer, and then maybe they get a pickup truck and a 5th wheel, but when they retired, they buy the motorhome. So they tried to classify it. The industry's done a great job with the Go RVing campaign. The website's gorving.com that actually pushes the marketplace down to the young families. So now the fastest growing segment of the market is young couples, 35 to 55, with children. And they are buying everything across the spectrum. There is no more let's buy a pop-up and move up when we get some more money. We were at a show last year. We had an older couple. Wife was trying to get the husband interested in the lifestyle, and he really wanted no part of it. She bought a couple of DVDs from one of the travel vendors and said, I'm going to start showing these to him over the next year or two and start working on them to get him to buy a motorhome. They went back to the hotel that night. They looked at one DVD. They came back to the show the next day, had never owned an RV in their life, and drove off with a $400,000 motorhome.
$400,000.
$400,000 motorhome. Had
Wow.
never had an RV, had never had a pop-up camper, never had a trailer. They said, this is what we're going to do. They're going to retire, just take off and go.
The market for these things obviously went through a real rough time with the economy. I'm sure the market had some impacts.
Oh, it was horrible.
Just like housing and everything else had impacts in automobile sales, except the government, government motors took care of, assisted that. But it had to be awful.
It was terrible.
Because
And we
people
lost.
just weren't buying that.
Right. It's discretionary income.
Yeah.
The recession hit. Interesting enough, from an economic standpoint, the industry or the government looks at the RV sector as a barometer of, are we going into a recession or are we getting out of a recession? And when we were going into the recession, we were one of the first ones that started to hit, and they knew it was going to happen. The president was out to Elkhart, Indiana, where 80% of the motorhomes and trailers are built. 3 times. Unemployment skyrocketed to almost 25%. 2010, 2012 started to come back. They are now back to full employment. Unemployment in Elkhart right now is 4.5%. They cannot get enough people. They cannot build them fast enough. They cannot get them delivered to the dealers' lots, and they are flying high everywhere. And that's why it's going to be a great show. These guys are going to make great clearance deals.
And the market's out there. People want to move.
Absolutely.
And you said the dealers want to move. They want to move some equipment.
They want to move the inventory, and also there's pent-up demand. The people have been waiting 3 and 4 or 5. They were ready to buy 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, and then the recession came, and they said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't spend that money right now.
That's a lot of money. I mean, if you
Right.
get a big camper, big RV, it's a lot of money. But in relativity, if you, God willing, live long enough, and you're going to do the kind of travel you want to travel, that's the kind of investment. Because there's also a resale value with these on the other side.
Yep.
And so I'm sure people are buying used vehicles that are out there also. But
Yeah, and this show is unique. In the big shows that we do in Boston and New York, they don't allow used units. What I'm doing on this show is I'm allowing every dealer to bring up to 10% of their display can be a relatively new pre-owned unit, 2012 or above. So not only will they get the best deals on the 2015 models that are just arriving, the dealers want to clear out the 2014 inventory. They don't want to sit in there collecting snow on it all winter. And then they've got some of these pre-owned, just pretty as all get out. I mean, they're just beautiful motorhomes and trailers. So they're going to get, there's several different segments of the marketplace that we're going to hit with this show.
will you have at the show some opportunities for people to understand financing or banks or how they can finance these and that kind of information?
Yeah, actually, the way the dealers work is it's a very sophisticated system, but they actually finance right at the show.
That's what I was saying.
So we
Okay.
encourage people on our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page for the Dealers Association. It's facebook.com/RVing in New England. And we gave them tips this week. We were providing them tips that if you're going to think seriously about doing it, bring your title with you, take photographs of the unit, show the dealer what you've got that you're going to trade in, because you're not going to be able to drive all these RVs up there and say, hey, give me a price on my RV.
Yeah.
So bring the if you got a title, if you got a banknote still, what's the pay? Get the payoff figure. So the dealer can actually finance right on the spot.
That's great. So this is so they can go up and look at them, they can get in them, they can get all the information about them,
Yep.
and they can actually get them financed right there.
Everything is done for them right there.
And how many dealers are you going to have?
We have 15 dealers.
Wow.
And we have, the association now has dealers in all 6 New England states. And that's why we wanted to do the show in Western Mass. We were able to attract some of the newer dealers in Connecticut and Western Mass and Vermont, in addition to the ones that we've already had in the Boston area, Central Massachusetts, and the Worcester area
Well,
here.
it's a big market here because a lot of people do have these types of trailers and have these types of homes, and Winnebago is a big name, but there's others out there. You can see them on the roads. They're enchanting to watch. I mean, you see these on the highway all the time.
Yeah, this is actually a $4 billion industry. And you're right, that one outside is a Winnebago. It's actually an Itasca Sonova. And Winnebago just recently started building trailers again, but they built motorhomes for over 50 years.
Yeah, I was telling you off
Yeah.
the air, we used to make rivets in my company, and we used to sell the rivets and millions and millions of rivets in Elkhart, in Indiana, to all the Winnebago people and all the people that made these motorhomes. So there's a little bit of me in every one of those little areas out there. And some of them used to be like the old Quonset huts, Airstream, I think it was.
Airstream is an iconic brand, still out there.
Are they still out there?
If you ordered an Airstream today, you will not get it for 6 months, 7 months.
Really?
Yeah.
And
It's
they're
such a
still the silver,
still the
stainless,
same technology.
same technology.
The rivet technology, the shining aluminums.
And they were just, and you're gonna wait all that time for it.
All you buying, yeah.
Wow.
And actually, there's a very interesting market on the collectible side of it. There's a whole group of people out there. They go looking for the old ones that are sitting under the trees in the backyard
Yeah.
for 20 years. They refurbish them, and they don't use them as trailers. They put them in their backyard, and they use them as a garden hut, or a studio, or a business office. If somebody works at home, they go out there and
That's
have
pretty funny.
It's a whole
Yeah,
cult,
that's pretty
very
funny.
cult on it.
All right, hold your thoughts for a
All right.
minute. We'll take a quick break. We'll get back, then we'll talk a little bit more about the show. I want you to understand what this show is all about this weekend. It starts today, so you can take a nice ride down, bring your kids, bring the family, everyone down there. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.